Welp. Mark Zuckerberg, let's just say, got exposed for working with the Chinese government here by a former senior Facebook executive. Yeah, see, we already knew that he was fucking about with American citizens' data, but well, at the end of the day, if you think about it, now that I think about it, Mark Zuckerberg does like fucking about with people's data in funny, suspicious ways. So it would be no surprise that, of course, he was doing something like this with the Chinese government. But we have an article from the BBC.com. Also, I do apologize that this video is coming out late. I didn't really see too many sources covering it, so I wanted to give it a little bit to see if more websites would cover it. But we got an article from the BBC, the British Broadcasting Company, or as I like to call them, the Big Black Cock. We have an article from them, though, that'll give us a lot more context and insight on what the fuck is going on here. A former senior Facebook executive has told the BBC, oh, that's apparently what she looks like right there. Nice picture of her, by the way. I assume they could have picked a better one. Sorry, dry throat. She looks very serious in that photo. But the article reads, a former senior Facebook executive has told the BBC how the social media giant worked hand in glove with the Chinese government on potential ways of allowing Beijing to censor and control content in China. I mean, come on. We're talking about one of the most fucking controlled countries on Earth. I would say, now that I think about it, North Korea has a little bit more of a stronger grip on technology than China. So I will give China that. They do allow their citizens to have phones and all that. But of course, they're surveyed 24/7. And the streets are surveyed 24/7. It makes me think for a second here. It's like one of their arguments in their appeal to shoot down, nice whistle there, but one of their arguments in their appeal to shoot down the TikTok ban was that it violated the free speech of Americans, right? We all know the TikTok saga. By the way, I have a little update for that. Apparently, Trump is speaking to 4 companies. That originally was going to be the video, but it's like, I was looking everywhere for what 4 companies they were, and I'm like, you know what? That's what. So, yeah. But if there's any more developments, or if we get the 4 companies, we'll definitely make a video. But back to the topic at hand. Honestly, China doesn't know a damn lick or two about fucking free speech if it hit them. This proves it right here. Like, huh? How the fuck are you going to tell me you know anything about free speech when you literally don't have that in your own country, you know? Article goes on to read, Sarah Wynne Williams, a former global policy director, says in return for gaining access to the Chinese market of hundreds of millions of users, Facebook's founder Mark Zuckerberg considered agreeing to hiding posts that were going viral until they were checked by the Chinese authorities. Exactly. They basically controlling what is being said in their country. That's not free speech. That's controlling what your citizens say, okay? Controlling what your citizens say is not free speech. Okay? See, Winnie the Pooh don't fucking get that, though. Miss Williams, who makes the claims in a new book, has also filed a whistleblower complaint with the U.S. markets regulator, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, alleging Meta misled investors. The BBC has reviewed the complaint. Facebook's parent company, Meta, says Miss Wynne Williams had her employment terminated in 2017 for poor performance. Okay. I'd like to see proof of that. Because, Mark, I'm sorry, as of right now, I'm not really on your side when it comes to any bullshit like that you throw. So I'm going to need to see proof of poor performance. Okay? Okay. It is no secret we are once interested in operating services in China, it adds. We ultimately opted not to go through with the ideas we explored. Meta referred us to Mark Zuckerberg's comments from 2019 when he said, "We could never come to an agreement on what it would take for us to operate there, and China never let us in." Facebook also used algorithms to spot when young teenagers were feeling vulnerable as a part of research aimed at advertisers. And that's basically what they're doing with American citizens' data as well. They're basically harvesting our data and buying it to use it to advertise more useless bullshit we don't need. Article goes on to read, Facebook also used algorithms to spot when young teenagers were feeling vulnerable as a part of research at advertisers, Miss Wynne Williams alleges. A former New Zealand diplomat, she joined Facebook in 2011 and says she watched the companies grow from a front row seat. Now she wants to show some of the decision-making and moral compromises that she says went on when she was there. It is a critical moment, she adds, as many of the people I worked with are going to be central to the introduction of AI. In her memoir, Careless People, Miss Wynne Williams paints a picture of what she alleges working on Facebook's senior team was like. Mr. Zuckerberg, she says, did not get up before midday, loved karaoke, and did not like to be beaten at board games such as Risk. I didn't realize that you were supposed to let him win. I was a little naive, she told us. However, Miss Wynne Williams says her allegations about the company's close relationship with China provide an insight into Facebook's decision-making at the time. I guess this is Mark Zuckerberg loving some board games here, but I guess he hates losing, and I guess he's playing a board game. Fuck, okay, cool. Awesome. Didn't need to see that. China is Mark Zuckerberg's white whale, meaning a goal that he obsessively pursued, says Miss Wynne Williams. The country is the world's biggest social media market, but access to Facebook remains blocked there, alongside the likes of X and YouTube. It is the one piece on the board game that he hasn't conquered, she says. Miss Wynne Williams claims that in the mid-2010s, as a part of its negotiations with the Chinese government, Facebook considered allowing its feature access to Chinese citizens' user data. He was working hand in glove with the Chinese Communist Party, building a censorship tool. Well, of course. Basically working to develop sort of the ethnicities of many of the principles that underpin Facebook, she told the BBC. Probably butchered that. But of course, you know, like I said, if you want to run any kind of social media, any kind of anything over there on the internet, it has to be monitored by the Chinese government. That's how they work. So they can control what is being said and what is being fed, so they can continue to push out their false bullshit Chinese propaganda to their citizens. You know, they don't want the truth getting out there, so of course they want to censor what the Chinese people put out, and they want to censor what the Chinese people can see. It's not that hard to see that China wants control, okay? You can't just freely move about China. They want control, and they're all about control. And now that I think about it here, I was about to hit the pause button. This thinks in my head, at least they're a little bit less stricter on technology than North Korea is. North Korea, I don't think you can even have a cell phone. I think you can. I'm not sure. But I know, like, from last time I saw in some documentary from a couple years ago, those motherfuckers are still using Windows XP. Yeah. But the article goes on to read, Miss Wynne Williams says governments frequently ask for explanations of how aspects of Facebook's software worked, but we're told it was proprietary information. But when it came to the Chinese, The curtain was pulled back, she says. Again, of course, you want to tap into that Chinese market, then the Chinese government needs to be involved. That's how it fucking works in China. Engineers were bought out, they were walked through every aspect, and Facebook was making sure that these Chinese officials were upskilled enough that they could not only learn about these products, but then test Facebook on the censorship version of these products that they were building. Meta told the BBC that such claims about China had been widely reported at the time. Another picture of Mark Zuckerberg. Apparently, that's her and Mark. Okay, cool, awesome. Didn't need to know that. Again, in her SEC complaint, Miss Wynne Williams also alleges Mr. Zuckerberg and other Meta executives had made misleading statements in response to congressional inquiries about China. One answer given by Mr. Zuckerberg to Congress in 2018 said Facebook was not in a position to know exactly how the Chinese government would seek to apply its laws and regulations on content. Meta told the BBC that Mr. Zuckerberg gave accurate testimony, adding it did not operate services in China. Well, of course, because again, China don't have the ability to control it. Most Facebook executives didn't allow their own children on Facebook. According to Miss Wynne Williams, they had screen bans. They certainly wouldn't allow them to use the product. And yet, she says reports from 2017 that the company had been using algorithms to target and categorize vulnerable teens. Well, that was true. The algorithm could infer that they were feeling worthless or unhappy, she alleges. The company, which also owns Instagram and WhatsApp, could, she claims, identify when a teenage girl had deleted a selfie on its platforms and then notify a beauty company that it would be a good movement to target a child with an advert. Again, Meta would harvest and use pretty much any person's data that they can get on their website and use it to shove advertisements in front of your face. Right? It's that simple. Again, we all knew Facebook was doing shady things with people's data. We didn't know that it went this far, though. Miss Wynne Williams says she felt sick at the thought and tried to push back, although I knew it was futile. They said the business side thinks that this is exactly what we should be doing. We've got this amazing product. We can get young people, which is a reality important advertising segment. Again, it's all about advertising. Article goes on to read, they said the business side thinks this is exactly what we should be doing. We've got this amazing product. We can get young people, which is a really important advertising segment. Meta told the BBC this was false. It never offered tools to target people based on their emotional state, and that the research it previously did was to help marketers understand how people express themselves on Facebook, not to target ads. Let's see how much left. We will finish it. Screw it. I was going to stop here, but we'll finish it. Overall, Miss Wynne Williams says the company has not done enough to address the issue of young people's safety on social media, which is true. Social media is not a place for young people. It's not. Honestly, in my eyes, if your child is not 18 years old, then they shouldn't be on social media. That's that's how I feel. It's like children should not be on social media at all to begin with. It's too dangerous. Too many kids have gotten kidnapped. Too many kids have gotten murdered. Whatever you could think of, the worst. It's happened. That's why people need to watch what the fuck their kids are doing on the internet, right? And how I see it, what parents need to start doing, instead of giving their children, phones that have access to YouTube and TikTok and all the brain rot apps like that, what I'm going to do, if I ever become a parent one day, I'm going to give my child a simple pay-as-you-go phone. That's all they need, right? And that's all they should ever get until they turn at least 16 or 18, right? Get them a little pay to go phone. Be like, here's your contacts. Here's mom. Here's dad. Here's 911. Yeah, we're going back in the day. That's all you fucking need. It's got a couple little cool little neat games on it. You don't need Facebook. You don't need Instagram. You don't need X. You don't need TikTok. You don't need any of that brain rot shit. And I fucking hate, and I'm sorry, anytime I'm scrolling through fucking Instagram and I see parents fucking filming videos of their kids on an iPad and they're like 5, 6 years old, I call them motherfuckers out. I instantly say, we get it. You're a failure of a parent and are raising an iPad gremlin. Like, I'm sorry, but if you have to stick a fucking screen in front of your child to parent them or whatever, don't be a parent, okay? Because at the end of the day, part of why today's society is fucked is because parents are lazy and they're raising iPad fucking gremlins. Not every parent is doing it, which is good. Not every parent is doing, but most parents are. And it's the parents that are lazy and raising fucking iPad gremlins. It's like, I'm sorry, but my eyes, soon as the child hits maybe between the age of 11 to 13 years old is when they should be introduced to a phone, right? But get them a simple pay-as-you-go phone. Maybe around 18, you then start getting them a smartphone, you know? But no. If I ever become a parent, one of the big fucking things I'm going to do is be extremely strict on screen time. Screen time, giving a child hours upon hours of screen time it's why, again, today's generation is fucked. But anyways, let's finish this article. Article goes on to read, this is one of the most vulnerable companies in the world. They could invest in this and make it a real priority and do more to fix it. Facebook said it was transparent about advert targeting and had shared updates regarding its approach to certain age-appropriate advert experience for teens. It also said it introduced teen accounts for tens of millions of young people with built-in protections. It also said it was given parents more oversight over their teens' use of the app. Yeah, okay. And then you've got child predators signing up with child accounts and, you know, okay. Children shouldn't be on social media to begin with anyways. As well as poor performance, Meta says the 45-year-old was also fired for toxic behavior after she made the misleading and unfounded allegations of harassment. But Miss Wynne Williams told the BBC she was let go after she had complained about inappropriate comments by one of her bosses, Joel Kaplan, who is now Meta's chief global affairs officer. Meta told us she had been paid by anti-Facebook activists and she was not a whistleblower. Whistleblower status protects communications to the government, not disgruntled activists trying to sell books, it said. Damn. In regard to Miss Wynne Williams' book, Meta has confirmed to the BBC that it has launched legal action in the US to halt further distribution of defamatory and untrue. I'm sorry, but when you know a company's taking legal action, it's obvious they're guilty. It's obvious they're guilty. To counter this, a legal representative from Miss Wynne Williams said, Meta has made a number of false and inconsistent statements about Sarah since the news of her memoir broke. While Meta's statements are trying to mislead the public, the book speaks for itself. Which, I'm sorry, I'm with Miss Wynne Williams here. I'm on her side, bro. We all fucking know for a fact Zuckerberg is kissing up to the Chinese government. Come on. We all know. The man's desperate for any type of way he can get data. To counter this, a legal representative for Miss Wynne Williams said Meta has made a number of false and inconsistent statements about Sarah since the news of her memoir broke. Well, Meta's statements are trying to mislead the public. The book speaks for itself. We asked her why she was speaking out now. She said she wanted Meta to change as it influences so much of our day-to-day life, which is true, it does. And we need to ensure that we get the future we deserve. We are in this moment where tech and political leaders are coming together, and as they combine forces, this has a lot of consequences for all of us. I think it is really important to understand that, and to understand, you look at all these engineers who are influencing the highest level of government. But now, reading that, the one fucking paragraph that basically saying that Meta is taking legal action, that, yeah, it's quite obvious they're guilty, you know? And it's quite obvious they want Miss Wynne Williams to shut the fuck up, because they don't like the fact that they're being exposed badly. So, hey, like I said, you know, oh, I'm reading it. Meta denies forcing users to follow Trump accounts. I'll have to look into that. But no, I mean, it's fucking obvious that Meta does shady shit with people's data. That was obvious from the beginning. I mean, come on. They were also literally questioned about it. And well, honestly, more is there to say. I mean, it's social media, right? At the end of the day, China wants to do anything they can to, you know, become the #1 country in technological advancement. And they'll do any kind of shady illegal shit, any kind of shady malicious shit they can to achieve that. And this is what we're seeing right here. So, but anyways, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is going to definitely do it for this video. Again, I appreciate all the love and fucking support that I've been getting. All the people who have been subscribing. I appreciate all the people who've been watching the videos. If you guys haven't already, go check out the streaming channel, Boston3233, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace!